Well, tailgaters filled the parking lots of Raymond James Stadium this morning, and it wasn't for a game, but instead more than 23,000 people came out for an Easter service. Grace Family Church held its Easter service for Tampa Bay, and as Fox 13's Kaylee Tracy reports, one of its church members is a familiar face at Ray J, Tony Dungy.
Tailgaters fired up the grills outside of Raymond James Stadium Sunday. But this Sunday wasn't for football.
Pastor Craig came up with the idea of Easter tailgating.
Grace Family Church's 8 campuses held an Easter service at the stadium.
It's exciting because it's not just for our church, it's for Tampa Bay. We're inviting all of Tampa Bay to come for our Easter service. Some people are kind of afraid to go to church, so anybody will go to a stadium and have a tailgate party and hear Tony Dungy and hear some great music and hear a message of hope.
One of the church's most familiar faces is pretty familiar with Ray J himself.
This is crazy for me, with so many memories in this stadium, playing games and everything, to come down here for an Easter service where we're going to have the whole city involved. But I'll tell you, it does bring back memories because the first event ever in this stadium was the Billy Graham Crusade, and I got to introduce Dr. Graham that morning in 1998. And so 26 years later, this is really hard to believe.
Hall of Famer and former Bucks and Colts head coach Tony Dungy shared his story Sunday with the crowd of 23,500.
I got to the Steelers, I was 21 years old, and there were about 15 guys on the team that said, you can't just do it this way. You can't just have a uniform and be on the sidelines. You got to get in the game. You got to play. You got to put God first in your life all the time. And that's when I kind of changed my life around. I started growing at 21 years old, and then it became my mission to represent Christ in everything I did, whether it was playing, coaching, broadcasting.
Lead pastor Craig Altman says while they held the service in a pretty cool space, the story of Easter Sunday is what's most important.
The greatest comeback was, Jesus Christ was crucified and buried, and for 3 days he was dead. They thought all hope was lost, but then God resurrected him from the dead, and that's symbolic for us, that God can raise us up into a new life and brings a lot of hope.
Kaylee Tracy, Fox 13 News.